Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And I wanted to start this type of sessions for a very long time. So I was thinking about making a kind of live streams, but the problem with the live stream was that always like the audio is kind of raw and it doesn't sound so good when combined with the sound from the DW. But anyway, this is why I bought the DBX 286, which is kind of a microphone channel strip. It does have the mic preamp, it does have the compression, the de-esser, enhancer, expander gate, and output gain. So I don't need to process it that much. So this is not the live stream, but I really hope I'm gonna find a way how to do the live streams of this type. So this type of the video is kind of warming up for the live streams, and I'm gonna call them E-Clip Talks, where I'm gonna talk about regular work that I do, and I believe that you can learn the most out of the real world examples. So I don't want to think about specifically talking about one particular thing, as that way, I don't know, I just feel that there's a lot of work that I do for my career and E-Clip as a project. And I thought that sharing this type of the work can actually be very beneficial for you who are keen and that want to learn something. So the topic for this one is that I'm kind of in the stage of finalizing my album. I do have already like a lot of tracks, which you can see. I think most of them you already heard in some of my videos. Some were done already, some were just in a beginning phase, etc. So I have a Cosmic Tone, which is 100% done. Deep Style, Tanalejos is done completely. Umbral, there's a certain changes which I need to do. The track with Inner State, Source of the Reality, it's because it's written M, I think I finalize it. The track with my wife, with very interesting vocal. I need now to check here and to see, because I need to, yes, I will need to be like muting every time I speak, so that I don't need to like go again and edit so much of the vocal, like to cut, because when speakers are playing, the microphone will catch that. I can use the headphones and turn on the speakers, but I just don't feel very good about that. I really love the sound of my speakers here and really want, so I will need to be muting all the time the recording of the video. So yeah, let me just play this track for you fastly.
And your feet found, you'll help with me, smile, be short and we're happy, let's dance together be until the end of this party. Sleep whenever we'll join us on after party. Come and dance with me, move your body and your feet found, you'll help with me, smile, be short and we're happy, let's dance together be until the end of this party. Sleep whenever we'll join us on after party. Come, 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 come.
Yeah, the track is kind of a bit more commercial, but I don't want to play the whole track. It's very psychedelic. It has a lot of very different types of the movements. This part with the vocal, it is a bit commercial, but this track, I was working on it for a very long time and it always felt unfinished. And I sent even to Elon from Symbolic. He also tried, he never replied with this. So I did send to several artists this project. Never got a response from them. I guess they were trying out and they also didn't feel it. And I don't know, I found a sample where it just fitted very well. And then I decided to change the whole text and to rechange the vocal, where my wife actually re-sang the whole sequence. And I was like, okay, it's a little bit commercial, but still from the artistic side, like it's not up to me what's gonna come out from me. Like as Rick Rubin says, like, we are the channels for inspiration and we are there kind of to serve it in a way. And after reading that book, I was just, okay, you know, like it might be not something that people expect from me, but still, like in some moments, some things will come differently, and I'll be there to support that, and I won't be resisting whatever comes out of me. Then I have the track with Sonic Entity, which is amazing. Of course, I have a track for Pyramid Festival, which is insane.
Welcome to Pyramid Festival.
It's very, very good track. Honestly, I put it so much love in it, and there are not that often the moments when you just make a track like very fast, and because this flute was played by Neda, who is amazing flute player, and she basically wrote this first part, and then after that it was such a huge inspiration for me to continue working on, and I didn't have any doubts about it, what it needs to be done. I still have one part to replace for it. I did use one sample in the middle of the track, which is kind of vocal, but since I already have recorded this flute, I want to record even the vocals, and that way have like a 100% original track without use of some kind of important vocals for important parts of the track where I really want to like work. I really enjoyed working with Neda, as she didn't know like the work that we are doing, and she was really impressed of what we are doing like producers with the electronic dance music, while I just gave her like the points, like what do I think about how the flute should be played, and what kind of things it's supposed to have, like the glides and motions whatsoever, and she did it very well, very fast. So after she left, I just continued with the track, and very soon I had like even 9 minutes, but the track is really nice. I get very emotional playing this track, like even many times like my eyes were like just full of tears. I don't know, maybe because the time and the amount of energy we invested in Pyramid Festival, and then like working on this track together, like everything combined together, just like very emotional for me. And then there's a remix of Zen Mechanics and Algorithmia Shores of Consciousness. With Interstate. So all the tracks are in the final stage. This with Interstate is almost done. Umbral, it's very nice. It's a bit different, which I really like. Tana Lighthouse, it's kind of deep progressive. Let me just check, am I muted? No. If you listen to my set from last year, not the last year, 2 years ago from Azora, you were able to hear many of these tracks, even though they are in a bit different form. And Cosmic Flow. So I can say I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fully done tracks, just like some type of the work, like small things to be rechanged in them. And then this deep style 140, I still don't have a name for it, it's just half done, like. So that track's supposed to be the last for the album, and then I started a new one. And this track I love so much, so now I'm in doubt, like which one should I finish first. As Tanalejos and Deep Style are kind of similar, while this E-Clip Origin, it's kind of E-Clip style of the E-Clip when I started making progressive psytrance like 2010, 11. It really reminds me on that, like there's a constant groove, it's 134. It's really, really amazing. Then I have like Back to the Roots, something I started, it's just like 2 minutes. But this is like where I try to make the music because of which I started making progressive music. So kind of old school progressive psytrance with the most inspiration like from Spiral tracks, from the first Iboga releases, but mostly Spiral tracks, and also like this French school like Silicon Sound, Voyager, Jaya, Altom. So they had this kind of signature sound in that moment, and I really, really, really like it. And the biggest inspiration for this, I think, was Altom. So the doubt that I have in mind is that most of the tracks are kinda new Eclipse sound, which is kind of more psychedelic, even though when I released Shuma, even the BPM was a bit lower. I always liked to be a little bit more faster from the progressive and also a little bit more aggressive. And this was kind of signature mark, even though after that, I'm not saying that it happened because of me. I think it happened naturally. But the whole progressive moved into 138, while I had few tracks on 138, which was kind of the BPM in that time that nobody used. And my idea in that time was I'm gonna hit in between of the full-on and progressive. As progressive was good, but I always felt it's a little bit it needs a little bit more. So 136, 138 used to be my favorite BPMs, and I did make a lot of tracks in that range. What else I wanted to mention? Yeah, so I do have feeling that my next artistic way will be kind of going back to that kind of a sound. 134, 135, 136. As I think I have said enough in 138 plus, like 138, 140, 142. Even though I started producing music as a full-on artist, and I did have a full album released from the project called Beyond Ecliptica, where I had like a little bit kind of night style full-on from let's say music from New Tech Records from that time. Like I used to love Absolum a lot. The Bliss used to have make Painkiller. So all these guys that used to kind of make the music in that style, and then I don't know, I just reset it and I tried to stop making music because in that moment nothing happened with my career, and I did release a full album, so I did had a lot of expectations in that moment, and then I just tried to quit from music. I was never able to do that, but I did quit my ambitions, which was very, very kind of biggest lesson in my life in that moment, is that as most when I wanted to succeed, to create some type of the outcome in my life with my career, with the music specifically, it looked like nothing was working. And then in the moment when I tried to resist, when I completely resisted, when I kind of tried to forget about it, when I convinced myself to quit my ambitions and to go and find a job whatsoever. So in that moment, I really wasn't pursuing any type of the outcome or kind of career build-up. So I was going back from work and I worked on my music, and I was making music only for myself. So I wasn't following what's popular in that moment. I wasn't following any trends. And I think that in that moment, with the tracks like Equilibrium, Cemetery Gates, and I don't know what was the third one, I think Psytribe, I remember I made such a huge impact on the scene. Specifically, I must give credits to Liquid Soul, because he spread a lot of good words about me all around the world while he was touring. And I got some of the first gigs because of Liquid Soul in that time, as he really liked what I was doing with the music. Like I think he thought it's kind of a bit different. And then after that, the album Shuma. And yeah, everything started to happen. Like suddenly I was in a shock. Like I cannot believe that what happened, like after I didn't even want to give that type of the didn't want to create that type of the outcome. There's one track which I want to mention here. It's Vibes. It's a track where I got inspired by some of the old tracks from GMS. And this is why I called it Vibes, because I was analyzing there's a video of me like using unconventional scales, where I was analyzing what scales been using, what different can we do, because it looks like that all of us are using like Firjan and Hungarian scales today, something that's like everyone else is using. And I was like, okay, what else can I do? And then I remember like going back from some older tracks, and I realized that there were this type of the spooky tracks, and then I found out like what is the diminished and how to play it, how to create these spooky vibes. And I just wanted to give something different for the album, but I didn't manage to finish it up, and the track is kind of in a weird form, as I have made 5 minutes and 36 seconds and the main break still didn't happen. So I'm like, okay, if I make a break, which is going to be like a 1 minute, it's going to be 6:30, and then the main and outro is going to be again 9 minutes. And also, like, I already did a lot in this track, and I really kind of need to find something new again, like for the main theme. So I just decided to keep it in a freezer, as I call it. Like in one moment, it's just going to be very clear to me what I'll be able to do with it. The oldest tracks, these are not older tracks that I have that are unfinished. Like there's this one as well. Yeah, very old with Algorithmia Space Time. There's 2 with Zen Mechanics, and I have many more. That's so many of them. I'm just gonna try to select all and go properties. My God, there's like 48 ones that are kind of unfinished. Some of them are duplicate, but let's say 40 at least. Yeah, there's So a friend of mine who is very inspired by the Xenon records, and I found one track from Sentient that's kind of very, very old, and I kind of very liked it. And to be honest, that style from that period I liked way more than the new one, but it's my personal taste. I don't say anything bad. So anyway, there's so many of them over here. I just wanted to mention this because I love doing it this way. I also have some kind of a techno track. So it's not a typical techno, and it wasn't my intention, as I know that usually techno producers, they always say like, oh, you can always hear the psytrance producer. That's completely right. But I've been practicing making techno for quite a long time, and this track was made, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago. Not this one, because this one I wanted to do something on 135, because I believe there's a certain gap in the scene, and once I start building my DJ sets, like if I want to make a certain change, there's always like a gap there, and I'm not able to find that much of the music that I can fit in that moment, as techno is kind of going to up to 132, and there's a hard techno which is very faster. Psytrance is in between, but still like 132, 135, 6, there's nothing new happening. So I thought maybe adding something to that range, and I really wanted to create like techno in a psytrance way for a very long time, and then another one. melody is terrible. This was just a try. As you are able to see, it's just like 2 minutes and 25 seconds. But I wanted to do something in that part, and then now when I heard it, it's just like, oh, no. But anyway, what I was focusing in here is the groove. Like there's something in this dry techno groove. If you make a psytrance this dry, you might come up to, I don't know, these psytrance kicks that are just like tuck, tuck, tuck. It's very hard to provide that depth and to like move the groove focus on the low end. And with all these techno kicks and the basses, it's much easier because they don't go too much in the high frequencies and it's just like way better. And I wanted to show you this techno because this is this used to be progressive techno in that time. Yeah, let me just find it. Sorry, I think I moved this. G, maybe this. Let me see. Does it work? Yeah. Wow, it's such a nice feeling that I'm recording this video and then I just found the track which I'm going to put in the album. It's completely done. It's 7:46. I have another one which I'm working on for I don't know how long, and I don't know why I'm not finishing it, as I'm really not pursuing something like you must finish this. I know this is a main mind trap, as I really want to open the project and I want to feel it. Like if I feel it, I want to work on it. If I put any type of mental stress about it, like you must finish this, then I might end up in working on my music and not enjoying it, and I really want to avoid it. And the story about everything right now is that I quitted all the booking agencies. I quitted all kind of major labels and all the industry, industry business side of it, because I really don't want, I don't want this to have any part of, to be involved in music on that way. I don't think they are very good, all of them. I'm not complaining. This is not ranting. This is not I'm just talking from my personal perspective, as I believe that what I just said about my music and that I made the most beautiful music, in my opinion, when I didn't have any ambitions, when I wasn't involved in certain things. It's very, very hard for the artists today to be surrounded with the people that are concentrating on the business, that are booking agencies, that are going to have a percentage of this or that. Publishing agencies, record labels, whatsoever, being involved in that, I used to be bombarded so many times with so many advices, as these people are mostly building their opinions because someone else have a certain success, and they're gonna tell the other artists like, oh, this is what's going, what's popular, you should be doing this or that. So even though if you are original and if you are kind of true to yourself, it's going to be very, very, very hard to resist all these voices that are coming to you, specifically if you start going onto the scene and you start talking with other artists. Like there's going to be a lot of involvement in your decisions or your progress. I don't know many people who've been kind of immune to all this besides Zen Mechanics. I really admire that guy. Whatever was popular, he's just like, nah, I don't care about it. I don't care. But he's one of the kind. His personality, he's very focused. He knows exactly what he's doing and why he's doing it. And he really don't care about anything else beside it. And I really admire that. While I wasn't able to ignore all these voices that were kind of influencing me all these years, and my music was changing, and in many moments I felt lost. So I decided, like, I'm gonna quit all of that, and I'm going to find a way how to provide for life and everything else, to keep my music, to keep my life not depending from music and the gigs. Because if I'm depending on the gigs, I will need to follow the new trends, I will need to adapt to new things whatsoever, and then in certain moments I found out that I'm doing things which I really don't enjoy. So instead of coming to studio and working on my music and having fun, I've been stressing out and like listening and trying to analyze what is working there or that. And then I realized I'm actually doing a shitty job. I wasn't even able to do that commercializing stuff even good enough because I didn't feel it. And again, this was maybe a second time in my career, which wasn't that big in that moment. I learned the same message. So I again tried to reset everything backwards, and like all of these tracks, all of them, you can say whatever you want, but I can swear that none of these tracks were done by influencing anyone else. And I don't even listen to psytrance anymore because I really don't want to have any ideas stuck in my mind, because I really want to release an album that's going to come from me. I'm not trying to be different. I'm not trying to force anything or whatsoever. I just want to be relaxed and finish. And I never finished the album easier than I am right now, because I didn't have a plan. I didn't know where it's going to be released. I didn't know anything. So in one moment I just realized I have so many tracks, and I decided like, okay, I'm going to pack this. I'm going to put it to an album, and the album most likely will come by the end of June this year. And I have a very nice concept for the album. I will call it the first vibration, as the more I was going into the audio and the engineering, sound design whatsoever, and then I figured out that sine wave, it's like every single song, everything is just like a bunch of the sine waves. And I was so impressed by this, and the light travels in the form of sine wave, and there's so many energies. So it looked to me somehow that sine wave is all around us, and it's the simplest form of the energy, and it's kind of so important. So I wanted to pay attention, to give a credits to it. And this is why I call it the first vibration, because this is kind of going to be association to the sine wave and my way of paying respect to that form of the energy. And again, like all the sounds are just like a bunch of the sine waves, etc., etc. There's like a big story behind it, which I don't have time to explain here. But anyway, so let me play a few more tracks and then go. Yeah, this one is very nice as well. This part definitely must be short. And I didn't play the vibes, and that will be like not all. I'm just gonna give you a small look on all the unfinished tracks that I have on my computer. Just a second, where is this view and then list? No, this is not it. Where is the another folder? Tracks export. Yeah. So this is how it looks. So there's like so many of them. But anyway, let me play the vibes.
these drugs gonna kick in? These drugs gonna kick in.
Yeah, it's 143, this one and the track with Interstate are the fastest one. And this track, which I didn't play, that I'm working for a very long time and I never finished it for some reason. Silicon Sound, one of my favorite artists of all time. Yeah, so it's been pretty long video already, but anyway, let me know how do you like this type of the videos. I didn't open any Cubase project even though that I wanted, but after we go through this, maybe I'm gonna start in the next episodes just to share some type of the ideas regarding all the work that it's involved in all of this, and also share some experience from the previous. And thank you very much for watching. See you soon with another video. Bye, ciao.